What's up, everybody? Why with blockchain academics? Today we're going to go over Ethereum. As you can see, repping Ethereum. We're going to go over price predictions, how it looks compared to Bitcoin, and all that great stuff. So I saw this posted by a few other people, and they were saying that the fractals, the graph for Ethereum is looking super similar to Bitcoin, as you can see. But we're going to break down the price of Ethereum, where it can go in relation to USD and BTC. So you Bitcoin maximalists, if you trade other coins to earn Bitcoin, I don't see how you can go wrong doing so. So let's get right into this. Let me just stop this. Let's get right into this. So this is what I want to share first. The two comparisons here. I kind of can see what people are talking about, but I wouldn't base it just off comparing these two graphs because they're two different animals. Bitcoin, I don't need to explain that. Ethereum, it's first of its kind, offering smart contracts and enabling other people, companies, businesses to build on their platform. So let's get rid of Bitcoin, because we're going to strictly dive into Ethereum. So let me pick up Ethereum USD. Let's start with Bitstamp. Bitstamp has a lot of good information. Perfect. Okay, let's break it down on the monthly. I'm going to turn on my indicators. Not this one, actually. Don't need this one. So what I see here is on the monthly, this is looking good. On the monthly, looks like we have found some support here, or we didn't get to the support here. We didn't get to test it. And it looks like we just are working our way up. You have this bullish variation here. You get the bullish engulfing pattern. And now this is setting up the TD sequential as well. So this price was higher than these last four candles, the closing price here. So now we're getting set up into basically an upward movement. As you can see here, if we get the green one and then the green two above, maybe we can work our way all the way up to 9. That would be really great. So on the monthly, it's looking bullish. We break it down to the 2 weeks. As you saw what I was saying, like you get the 1, 2, 3, and then it works its way up to 9, as you can see here. The 9 would have been the sell signal, especially with this doji and this confirming candle. This would have been an easy sell right here. You could have taken the entry here or anywhere here, and that's like pretty great profits. So on the 2 week, what we are seeing is a doji. There's a lot of indecision here. I think it's in relation with Bitcoin, because the market really follows Bitcoin. It's the king. Bitcoin dumps, the market dumps, and there's not much you can do about it. So we are seeing a doji here, but what I like to see about this is this is trying to hold above the 50-day on the 2 week. So that would be great as well. We have seen a little bit of a drawdown because of Bitcoin. Let's keep moving. We're seeing another doji on the 1 week as well, which is showing, we saw a doji here. This is, wow, just looking at that. We saw another doji here, but we grew past it and we just kept trending. I wouldn't, cover on one of those, or I wouldn't cover my long, or I wouldn't take an opposite position just looking at the doji, but it just lets you know that the market's indecisive. The buyers and sellers are pushing each other, bulls and bears are fighting, and the market's essentially indecisive. On the weekly, it looks like we are gearing up towards a 9. And with the doji, it's just letting me know that this trend itself may near an end. And that doesn't mean that's going to turn bullish or bearish, but it can just have a little retracement, which is fine. We like retracements. So once we start to break down, you can see that the story is getting, clearer and clearer. With the month, we saw that, if I go back, that we're just starting the bullish. We're just starting this bullish move. We're breaking lower highs. So, you know, in a bear market, we'd be looking for higher. For a bear market, the market structure would be lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. But now we've passed this high and we've almost passed this high. It would be great if we can start trading above $290 and start posting candles there. And then on the 2 weeks, we're slowly progressing up. The sequential is progressing up. On the 1 week, it's progressing up. And then we get to the 5-day. And this is where you start to see the little pullbacks and stuff like that. On the 5-day, and this I'm using a different variation to TD sequential. I'm using a TI sequential. It's private. So if you're interested in that, you can hit me up and I can show you where to get it. But as you can see, it gave you a perfect buy here, literally. You can see this like little hammer, another doji, and you can see how it's kind of curving upwards. So this would have been a great buy, which shot you into over 100% profit, all from buying on this 9. So it's good to notice when there's a change in trend. And you can see that it broke this little resistance here. It's moving up. We see the 9 here. We get the downward move after that. On the 4-day, definitely, yeah, we see the 9. But like I said, when you see 1 9 or like a doji or one bearish candle, you just need a little bit more information. I wouldn't just jump into sell or covering your positions. You just want to be more aware. As you can see here, the 9 happened, but it just kept pushing. We're getting these dojis now. So this to me is looking like, yeah, the market's stalling out, very indecisive. You can see all this volume to the downside. 3-day, you get the perfect 9 sell as well. Just curious to see how much from that candle. We could take it from here. Okay, not bad, like a 5% move using leverage, not bad. 2 days, you can see that this is weakening out this move. The bulls and bears are fighting. You have this thrust move up here trying to break the resistance, which failed to do so. Created another couple dojis, and you can just see like it's the volatility is getting smaller, the price moves are getting smaller, and there's just less action. So there's just a lot of indecisiveness on the day as well. You get this 9, and like I said, on the day you have the golden cross here as well, which is super, super bullish. Golden cross is when you get the 50-day over the 200-day. That's the most used moving averages. So you can use anything. It's when the slower moving average goes over the larger moving average, the faster moving average. I mean, it would be the smaller moving average. So the smaller figure, you have 50 going over the larger figure, the 200, but the 50 is faster actually. So let's look back in history to where the golden cross has done some magic for us. Right here, golden cross right here. You did get the dump. So people might just buy on a golden cross, but usually unless it's around or close to the moving average, I wouldn't just take a buy on it. And you can see here, this was perfect. They retested this moving average. And when they start to point up as well, it's like the market's trending up. So you want to look for all these small things. And these are like slowly curving. As you can see, this one's coming up. The 200 days like curving here. So as you can see, it's curving here. This one's going up. You get the golden cross. And now the market is testing multiple times. This is an amazing entry. Honestly, amazing entry. This is like textbook. Buy here, over 120%. So we have the death cross. That's when the opposite happens. And you can see, like I said, you wouldn't just take the sell here because a lot of the times price gravitates towards these averages. So as you can see, it tested, broke down, and failed and trended down. And now we'll look at the bigger. This is on the day. Okay, there's no moving average, hasn't gone that far. I was going to say, if we break it down, put it on the 4-hour, you could definitely probably see a cross around here. And then like hasn't crossed since when we started breaking down 2018. So this is good to notice that the golden cross is here. Hasn't happened for a while, since last year, April 2019, and it shot us up. And with overall overall bullish sentiment we're in right now, this could be really good. But we're also seeing it on Bitcoin, which is the leading crypto in our market. So that is really good. So on the daily, as of now, I am seeing, just as I noticed, an actual ascending triangle. So this ascending triangle, I would want to see, let me put it on the 4-hour. So I'm breaking down the time frames. So as you can see here, this ascending triangle is a continuation pattern, which would shoot us into, which would break upwards, is what I meant to say. So as you can see here, we're keeping this high, like we're keeping this resistance area, but we're creating higher lows. So higher low, higher low, higher low. Let me see if I can get this to tap. Yeah, perfectly. We're creating higher lows. So let me pull up ascending triangle for y'all that don't know. I'd say you more than likely want to see it after a drop, but this is a good as well. Let me see ascending triangle just to show you guys. Uptrend, this is perfect. Oops. Okay, it's right here. So we get the uptrend, you get the supporting levels, which is rising. So you're creating higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then you break out of it. Let's go back here. So rule of thumb on how you measure this is you take it from the basis, let's say from here. Let's keep that straight. When it breaks out, let's use the apex, which is here. So $350. If this breaks out of this ascending triangle upwards, we are below the moving average on the 4-hour. It's not a big deal, but if we break up towards this, I'm expecting around $350 on Ethereum. That's not my price prediction for 2020, but I am expecting 350 bucks if we break above this ascending triangle. But it's just looking like Bitcoin is gonna drop. There's not a lot of bulls pushing up to the price. We just took that $1,000 drop almost, and yeah, if Bitcoin drops, the ascending triangle won't play out. So it's really tricky. Like I said, you just don't just jump in. For example, you can have a couple different strategies on how to play this one. You can buy where we are right here, and you can put it your stop loss below this low, because this is creating a higher low. And if it breaks this, then it's broken the triangle. Simple as that. That's one way of playing it. Another way of playing this is you can wait for the break, put your buy order here, and you're catching a breakout. Could be dangerous, could be a fake out, and then you're left hanging on a horrible position. And then I'd say the safest one is where we break out, we retrace, we use this as support, and then we keep going up. For this to happen, there's no chance, there's no way to tell if this is going to retrace back and use these highs as support, but that's like a textbook trade right there. And then enjoying the ride up. This is like the second best place to get in, being first here. But you're kind of guessing here. The pattern isn't completed until it's actually completed, or it's not actual pattern then. So that's just a few ways how to play the ascending triangle, where to gauge your TP, your take profit, which would be around 350 bucks from the top here, which is a pretty good price move. Or is that 25% leverage? That's a good trade. That's a really good trade. So that's where I think if this doesn't happen, then we're obviously breaking down with Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin pops up, this is going to break out of this ascending triangle. It's going to go to 350 bucks. Let's go to BTC or Ethereum BTC, because I wanted to show you guys as well. Let's go to Poloniex. Let's put it on the 1 month. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to take off these indicators. You don't need these right now. We'll keep volume. We don't need volume either. So what I wanted to show you guys is the first price jump. This is in relation to Bitcoin. So if you have Bitcoin and this looks like it just broke It's resistance here. This is some pretty lows that's put in. I would like to see it cross here. If this crosses here, then I would want to make some positions into this. I already hold Ethereum. I'm a more Bitcoin holder, but you know, if I can put Bitcoin into Ethereum to take out 2x Bitcoin or 3 or 4 or 5x Bitcoin. So let's say I put one Bitcoin here and it goes back to its all-time high. That one Bitcoin I had in there just turned into 4.7 Bitcoins. And it's like, like when a Bitcoin hits 100, 2, 3, 4, 500, $1,000 in the next bull run, and I can multiply my Bitcoin with one of the safer cryptos, the top 5 cryptos. But a lot of people don't understand that this is based off proof of work. The amount of Ethereum generated in the year is 18 million Ethereum. That's just as much as almost as there are Bitcoins. And you can say that is as many Bitcoins as there will ever be, because you got to factor in how many are lost and what's mined today. There's literally more Ethereum that's being, don't want to say printed, but generated, mined, per year than there are Bitcoins currently out right now. So you have to take that in consideration when you're doing calculations for market cap, because I'm seeing these ludicrous like $10,000, $20,000 Ethereum, but that market cap would be in the trillions. And it's like, we haven't even reached there. Bitcoin hasn't reached a trillion. So for Ethereum to kind of push forward first, yeah, it's I would bet on Bitcoin first. So let's look at this pump. This is 1,600%. It's on the weekly. Let's go. You know what? Just give me a second. I just want to get the right figures. Was it 16% or 36%? Okay, I'm going to take it here. Yeah. Okay, it's around the same. So look at this first pump. This first pump, around 1,900. I can bring it down to the low right there, but no. I'll take it from where it started trending up. 1,900%, around 2,000%. So we got a 2,000% move right here. We have a 2,000% move right here, about 1,900, about the same thing. And this would be the APC retracement, I would say. Okay, I gotta make this smaller. Gotta scale down. So at the price we are right now, okay, let me get the line. Where am I looking? Horizontal line. Get that baby right there. So every Ethereum would be about 37% of a Bitcoin. That is, if it's followed its normal 1,900 to 2,000% moves in the bull markets. And this was trending down after the bull market. So this doesn't count. So you can see here, it's just like this, but just on a smaller scale. This coming down, this coming down. So what we can see for Ethereum is that it can reach this high. You know what I mean? That's just looking at past data, just taking the simplest way to look at it and looking at, the structure and the fractals and the way it compared to Bitcoin. I know this looks crazy. So basically about 3 Ethereum, you'd have a Bitcoin, which is crazy because just at that figures, you're putting Ethereum at almost $3,300, $3,500. And if this does happen and Bitcoin does move to all-time highs, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, even at 100,000, this would price Ethereum at $33,000, $35,000 if Bitcoin did reach that. So that's why I kind of just, I'm very careful to say that this is the TP. Like, even if we get back here, it did 400%. I had 10 Bitcoins, or not 10 Bitcoins. Yeah, let's say I put 10 Bitcoin into Ethereum as of today, and it reaches back to its all-time high. I'd be making about 40, I'd be taking out 40 Bitcoin from that. So I'm happy with what I'm holding in Ethereum right now. If we get paid in Ethereum, we'll keep it because it looks like it is at the bottom right now. And it's going to work its way up to these all-time highs that I'm super happy to see. So that is my price prediction. Maybe the top. This is the top for Ethereum. If Ethereum can reach here, and you know what? There's a probable chance that Ethereum has hit $0 too. You got to look at it this both ways. This is not like come and put all your money into this. Like this is not financial advice. This is a potential move that Ethereum could do, but just as likely it could just hit $0 and Bitcoin could just be the king. So, take it with a grain of salt, do your own analysis, and reach out if you have any questions. In terms of Ethereum USD, let's take a look at that. Do the same thing. Now we're gonna go to Kraken. Oh my God, like Ethereum blew up, and let's get the price rate, $9. 17,000, literally 17,000. This is I'm gonna have to scale this super small if we go to 17,000. Oh, no, I got this. Let's go 16,000. Where are we at? 11 grand, and if we're looking at Ethereum coin market cap, let's just do this simple math. Ethereum's total market cap is 28 billion. There is 109 Ethereum circulating. So let's just go for the end of the year. If I go 109 plus 18 million, that's going to be mined by the end of this year. Plus there's a couple months in. Let's just do 16 million. So 109 plus 109 plus 16 million. That's the total Ethereum. Well, that's the total amount of approximate amount of Ethereum at the end of 2020 times 10,000. We'll have a market cap of 1.2 billion. And the market cap's highest was, I think, 850 billion. So this is like a good chunk. Like that's just Ethereum having a 1.258 trillion market cap. And then I have to make me think like, okay, how much is Bitcoin's market cap going to be? It's going to have to be in the multiple trillions of dollars. So there's going to have to be a lot of money is going to have to pour in for these figures to happen, for this to happen, unless it just gets pumped by Tether USD. So I'm super excited to see where Bitcoin and Ethereum goes. I am in Ethereum, and I have been in Ethereum for a while. I got into Ethereum less than $20, to be honest. So I got in back then, less than $20. So I'm happy with what I got. And if this goes to tens of thousands of dollars, or it's worth 0.37 BTC each Ethereum, I'm gonna cash out and I'm gonna trade it all for Bitcoin. Because I believe that Bitcoin will reach like heights that is just unfathomable. So make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. We're going to be taking a look at a lot of other coins, some altcoins that have the potential to 10, 20, 50x, get those moon coins back in here. And your blue chip coins, obviously top 10, top 20, top 50, all the other hottest crypto news. We have our education platform being released with indicators that can help you trade. We're giving away a ton of freebies, so make sure you stick around. And that's it for today's video. Go and enjoy your weekend. And thank you for watching.